give you some more details about that. Because, well, auctions are fun, aren't they? Aren't auctions fun, don't you think, Shelley?
They are fun, Gordy.
I think they are. Because you keep bidding and trying to get what you want, and then other people are bidding, and that kind of makes you a little upset, so you up your bid again, and there's competition involved in it.
Exactly.
And that's coming up, a fundraiser for South Central. Get the details here from Shelley Rockman. You're the executive director of the South Central College Foundation, and you want to introduce the guy to your right?
I will. I'm pleased to have Jason DeMars with me today. Jason is leading our 2016-17 annual fund drive. So he's our chief volunteer this year.
You have a goal?
We do. We are aiming for $200,000 in our annual fund drive.
How much was raised last year?
Close to 160. So
it's a significant bump.
It is. And it was our goal last year, too, and we didn't get there, which is why we kept that as our goal.
So what do you think, Jason? You think you can hit that $200,000?
I certainly do. I think we could. That's about meeting new people and getting new people invested in the program and getting them to contribute.
So what did you think? Now, forget Shelley sitting next to you, sort of. What did you think when you were approached to be the chairperson? I would guess that's how it happens, right? You get approached and say, what would you think about being our fundraising chair next year?
Funny thing is, Shelley's been asking me for years, and I've always had an excuse because of my uncomfortableness with approaching businesses for donations, and I didn't have an excuse this year, so it was yes, I'll do it. I would be pleased to do it.
You mean you weren't uncomfortable anymore?
No, I'm still uncomfortable with that, but it's so near and dear to our family, and where I've come from and where my family's come from that you bet. I thought this is the time to get over the fact that uncomfortable is not bad; it's just different. So
no, actually, you're supposed to make yourself uncomfortable.
Correct.
That challenges yourself.
Exactly.
You talked about how near and dear the school is to you. Give us a little of your background. I was reading about it on the South Central College Foundation website. I mean, your family really has been involved in that school over the years.
Right. Growing up as a kid, I've seen my dad was in the first class of the machining program at South Central, and then my mom taught there. And then when I was getting ready to figure out what I was going to do after high school, Mom wanted me to go to college, and I wasn't quite ready. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so the Marines was the choice. And when I came home, it was an obvious choice to use the GI Bill to go back to South Central. So I did that, and then a short while later, through some other outstanding things that we can't control, I was asked to help teach. And as soon as I did that, I kind of fell in love with that and ended up teaching there for 15 years. Have since moved on, but have been still a member of the advisory committee and helping out with fundraisers along the way, just because there's the faculty and staff there are so supportive, and they do so much to raise money for that school that I just said I can't leave that. So here we are.
You miss teaching?
Some days, especially in the summer.
Oh boy.
No, I do miss it. The older that I got, and you separate from your students in the classroom. I just felt that we need to get somebody in there that's closer and was ready to handle all of that. So.
In age, you mean?
Correct.
Closer in age to the students.
Yep, you can connect with them better. So it was time to move on.
So you chose machining because your dad was in it, or you?
I like to make things. Yeah, I love that. I still do, and it's tough being a manager now, but I still have the opportunity to dream things up, and now usually I have someone else help me make it, but we do still make things.
That's awesome. So, Shelley, you want to give us a little quick hint on the auction? Because I got about a minute. It starts today, right?
Yes, the auction is live right now. It started at 8 a.m., and we have 151 items published to the site, and we want people to visit and check it out and then come back and visit again because we're adding items. We have already 30 items in the draft mode on that site,
okay,
and we'll be getting more this coming week. So people should check it out and then check back.
All right, we're going to talk about some of those items and talk more about what this money is used for at South Central College. As South Central College Foundation Executive Director Shelley Rockman and Jason DeMars, who's in charge of the fund drive, are on our AM Minnesota show, Bertwood, Iowa. AM Minnesota continues with Shelley Rockman. Jason DeMar is here to talk about the South Central College Foundation. They're doing their fund drive, which started with an auction this morning. Is this the only aspect of the fund drive? Just this auction?
Oh, no. We started we kicked off on October 31st, actually, with an event for all the volunteers, and that was the start of the fund drive. So up until now, volunteers have been out and about in the community making calls on prospects, individuals, and businesses. And that will continue until we make that goal, or until June 30th at the end of the foundation's fiscal year. And back in the office, we do some small mail campaigns and some grant writing. So that is happening simultaneously. So this auction kind of gets plopped right there in the winter to kind of bring some excitement to our lives and give us some hope for fun events in the summer and different activities that we can plan ahead for.
So if people don't want to participate in the auction, they can still give to the foundation, is what I'm getting at here.
Absolutely, they can. We accept gifts year-round, and we get some gifts in honor or in memory of people, and we get straight-out gifts, and we get endowment gifts, which are large gifts to establish a scholarship in somebody's name. So, yeah, and it really, it happens year-round. But right now, we're hoping this fun little online auction can help us generate some more funds.
Yeah, it again began at 8 this morning. You can jump on there. What's the website? Where do I go? It's
called Bidding for Good. And to find our auction, you can simply type in www.biddingforgood.com and then add a /SCC. If you end up on the Bidding for Good homepage, you can still find our South Central College auction on there, but just adding a /SCC at the end takes you right to it.
The North Mankato and Faribault campus both on here, right?
Yes, we are doing this as a joint fundraiser. So wide region covered for visibility and for fun and more added items. I mean, it's items that we here in Faribault couldn't get ourselves.
Right.
But we do keep the funds separate. So if it's an item that was donated for our Faribault Campus Foundation, we get all the proceeds for that, and likewise in North Mankato. And we send items back and forth. So if somebody was reading and saw it was a North Mankato Foundation item, but they wanted it and they bought it, we'll have someone help get it over here using our folks at the college who are going back and forth on a daily basis.
So you don't have to go all the way to North Mankato if it happens to be a North Mankato item.
Right, and vice versa. Unless it's big. Sometimes there are big things that you have to pick up at a specific location. Like I know in North Mankato every year they get a big stone bench, like a garden bench or something. You'd have to go pick that up yourself at the quarry.
Oh, sure. Of course. So is that a list of some of the auction items in front of you, Jason?
Yes, it is.
You want to highlight some of those for us?
Yeah, well, I'm going to talk about a couple things that we've donated. Cybex this year has donated some beanbag boards. They're Minnesota Viking themed. And so we've got, and they also come with the bags and then the scorecards. So we make a custom scorecard in-house on our sheet laser at work. So we've done that for this year. And then also we have some sheet metal art. So in other words, we take a 16-gauge thick sheet metal and cut it into either, we've got a deer head, 2 eagles, one facing you, one facing to the side. That's in a beautiful, deep, like a candy-colored burgundy. Then we also have Minnesota Wild logo and deer head. So it's like a antlered buck. It's a silhouette. So
sounds awesome. So are pictures of this on the website too then, Shelley?
Yeah.
Of those items you just described?
Yep. When a visitor goes to the site, they see a welcome page, and then on the left is a column of different categories. So, for example, if you know what you're really interested in, like dining, you might click on dining, and you can see all of the gift certificates for restaurants and things like that that have been donated. So there are all these different categories, and then there's a new items category. And so when I mentioned earlier, we want you to come back and see what new things we've added, you can simply click on that and see. So once you start to bid on something, you've put in your account information, your name, and you have to put in a credit card number in case you're a winning bidder. And somebody outbids you, you get an email that says you've been outbid, and so you can go back in then. And you also can set a maximum bid if you don't want to have to keep going in. Just put in a maximum bid from the beginning and say, this is what I'd be willing to spend if I had to. And remember, it's a good cause, so be generous.
Yes.
And some of these things have a value, but really you can't put a price on it. We have to put a number in there, but
Like the artwork that Jason
Exactly.
just described.
you know, so, and I think some of our values are conservative, especially with art. It's hard to value that. So, and some of our experiences, you know, gift certificates obviously have a face value, and
Right.
that's that. But you know what? In the spirit of supporting a good cause, every year we have people who bid over value for gift certificates too. And that's a very thoughtful thing to do.
Yeah, I've done it at a few fundraisers over the years. A few extra bucks aren't going to kill you, you know.
Yeah.
And it, as you said, is for a very good cause. In fact, I've often thought on some of the silent auctions we've done over the years, you should start it at the face value, the bidding.
Good idea.
I mean,
Right.
I don't think others agreed with me on that,
Right.
but that's what I've thought over the years. Well, the deadline, again, I don't know if we talked about this, ends on February 9th of the auction.
That's correct. It's in the evening, 8 p.m. on February 9th. The bidding will stop. And then that next day, that Friday, in the morning, we spend time processing and making sure the credit cards all go through and that kind of stuff, and then alert people, you've been a winning bidder and you can pick up your item, you know, wherever, or contact us to make arrangements as needed. And so that kind of starts. It takes at least a week to get all that sorted out.
I'm sure. Very easy to navigate. I remember last year I went in there. Very easy to navigate.
I think it is, yeah. And for if you think about an auction platform, it's nationwide, so charities from all over the country are on it and are using it to raise money. And we have some people buying things from other states because they just go there out of habit and they just see what's for sale, and that's kind of fun too. I mean, we really are, you know, shipping things to Florida, and I love to say that last year I shipped blue cheese to Florida 2-day with ice packs because the donor or the winning bidder said, I wanted to try Faribault blue cheese, and
Cool.
and she was in Florida. So, yeah, things can go all over.
Now, was she originally from Faribault?
No, she just said, I go on this site, I look at different auctions, I saw this, I love blue cheese. And so it cost her extra to have me buy ice packs and ship it 2 days to her, but she was willing to do that.
Did you get a response? I'm curious as to how she liked the blue cheese.
Right.
You know, I didn't.
Doggone.
I just said, if it doesn't show up in very good shape, I hope you don't hold it against me. She's like, nope. I know what I'm doing.
So has it gone better than you thought it would, Jay? You said you had a little bit of a fear of, you know, knocking on doors, asking for moolah. It's for a good cause, obviously. So
Correct. Yeah, it's gone well. We've got a ways. You know, we still got a goal to reach, and so we still have work to do. But so far, so good. Yeah, I feel good about it.
So how many people are on your committee?
I think we have about 40 volunteers. That includes foundation board members.
Okay.
There are 15 foundation board members, and then the rest are community volunteers like Jason.
Fantastic. So there's a scholarship program I see here. The deadline is March 3rd for those who'd like to apply for one of those. And last year you awarded $130,000 to 120 students.
We did, and I just had a check signed yesterday for these spring semester scholarships, because those scholarship funds are dispersed around the third week of classes in the semester. And that was over $40,000, $40,000 and some. So when we award in the spring, sometimes students don't come. And so we have some scholarships then that we would give out again. We re-award them. But so far this year, of that 130, we've paid out $117,000 on our Faribault campus. So
That has to make you pretty proud.
It does. It does. And it's because of this kind of an effort every year with a ton of volunteers and generous people in the community saying, yes, we will. And I know if we could get to more people, we would raise more. But folks are busy. If anybody's listening who would like to be a volunteer to help with this and can get over that uncomfortableness and
most of us, I don't think, like asking for money, but when it's for a good cause.
Exactly. We're not asking for ourselves. We're asking to support students who are really trying to better their lives and achieve a goal of, in Faribault on our campus, it can be a certificate, diploma, or degree in any of a number of fields. And then that makes a better future for them.
And for our community. That's the way I look at it. I look at it as we're going to increase our people's employability. And the more people we have employed, the more people we have buying our services in town, so the business owners have more people that can come to their restaurants and their storefronts. That's the way I've put it into my head, is that we want to make a community that has a good support system for these students to go to school and help them out, pay for it. Tuition's expensive nowadays. It costs a lot of money to go to school.
No. And you were there for 15 years as a teacher, so you know the stories of these students.
I've seen people sleep in their car. I mean, we have just so they can come to school, so that they can start that earning potential. I mean, and now those are the people that I reach out to when they're successful in the field and say, well, we know where you've been. Let's there's more people like you, so it's time to consider giving back.
Yeah, you don't want somebody to go through what you had to go through, kind of thing, right?
Right. Yeah.
The struggles. Mm-hmm. Although I guess that kind of probably makes you tougher, too, as far as that goes.
Definitely.
Anyway, National Technical Letter of Intent Signing Day. What's that?
Well, that's an event that'll be on campus that I just wanted to give a quick mention
Sure.
about on Thursday, February 16th. It was started last year, and it's there are several events happening across the nation at technical colleges, and it draws attention to the importance of these majors and these career fields for students, and it honors them. So at a big university, you might have a signing day for
Athletes.
Mm-hmm. And this is a signing day for students who are committing to a technical career. And they come and we do a little ceremony and have them come up by program area and sign a letter of intent that they are going to attend South Central College in the fall.
Wow, what a great idea.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Wouldn't you have loved to do that when you went to school, Jason?
Right. Yeah, I think my letter of intent was signed because I was broke.
Well, you had the G.I. Montgomery building.
I did, yes. That helped out drastically.
Sure.
I came home without work, leaving the Marine Corps, and so it was one of those things that, well, we better get started. Have a child at home and a wife, and we've got to pay the bills. So.
And a lot of times when people think of technical career, they think of specifically manufacturing
Right.
here in Faribault or our carpentry program, but this covers health careers
nursing.
and business careers that are technical too. So all those students are welcomed and encouraged. But I didn't mention, and I need to, that we have on the auction some items made by students. Jason's a past student,
Sure.
an alum, but our carpentry students took some scraps of wood, walnut and maple, and made some very beautiful and interesting cutting boards that we have put on the auction. And there's 6 of them, and several are loaded on there now, and several more will be added. A one in the shape of Minnesota, and a couple rectangle ones with different stripes or solid walnut or whatever. It's just a fun variety. And
They're beautiful.
they, I emailed the instructor and I said, hey, would your students like to make something? And they took on the challenge. And 6 of them, I think there are 12 students in the program that has reopened. And, half of them said, we'll make a cutting board. And I'm anxious to see how they sell, because that's the kind of thing you can buy it in the store and it has a price. But this was made by our students, and I think that makes it even more valuable.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Do you have a price up on there?
I think we
An
started them
asking
at
bid?
$25 for a
Okay.
for a minimum bid. Yeah, $25 for minimum. And then we have a few little birdhouses, too, that are decorative birdhouses that they threw together. So those are fun additions.
It sounds like it. You have a couple other items there, Jason, you want to touch on? We have a few minutes here.
I think the experiential ones are nice, too. I mean, there's obviously Twins tickets and some trip to the cities to go TCF Bank Stadium. Those type of experience ones are also a nice one to... Those are the ones I look for when I do things like this. Granted, I get the artsy stuff as well, but the things I can use and the things I can take my kids to,
sure,
those are the ones that are the kids remember that experience for a long time.
You have wild tickets. Do I see a baseball bat on here?
We have Twins tickets, Gopher football, and wild tickets. But that is a walking stick.
Oh, it's a walking stick.
Yep,
Okay.
Chris Willock carved that
Oh,
walking
okay. Now
stick.
I see the face on there. Okay.
Yeah, it has a wood spirit face on it, which is really cute. It's basswood, he said, and 50 inches tall, and has a little leather rope handle on it.
I thought maybe Pastor Jorgensen put his walking stick on there. He went to Tanzania with us and ended up getting a walking stick.
No, this one's never been used.
Teased the whole trip on the way. How are you going to get it home? You know, they let him bring it on the plane.
Good.
I see some awesome items on here. So make sure you check it out, folks. Again, biddingforgood.com/SCC.
Yes.
Correct.
biddingforgood.com/SCC. Bidding goes on until February 9th. I like the idea of being able to just say this is how much I'll spend, you know, from the beginning, so I don't have to keep going back, to be honest.
And you can still change your mind if you decide later you want to increase your bid. But initially, it's something that kind of takes the pressure off. If you're really busy or you're going to be gone for a couple days.
Yeah. So you have trips on here at all? Like to the Everglades or something?
You know, I think if you looked on the site, I think our North Mankato partners have a couple trips on there.
Okay.
That were provided somehow. I'm not quite sure how all that happens. But I think I saw a couple on there.
There were last year, and I saw the cabin one was back. So,
yeah.
Looks like you got plane rides on here.
Yes, that's that 1941 Stearman open cockpit, and the Bateses, David and David. David, the younger, is a graduate of our SCC Faribault campus, and his dad's plane. Maybe they own it together. I'm not sure. But that's always an interesting item and gets a couple bidders going back and forth on that. But ride of a lifetime, really, if you want to be in the open air and go high and maybe do loops and things.
right.
Sounds like it's not something that you do, Shelley.
Could you tell that from my choice of words?
How about you, Jason?
I do it in a heartbeat.
I mean, former Marine, of course.
Of course.
And didn't you work with planes or something? Didn't I read that?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
I was a support equipment mechanic for the F-4 fighter jet, yes.
So
I think he should go up in the plane.
that would be...
She wants to get me into bidding.
Bid often and bid high, Jason.
Right.
I was going to go up in a glider, and I went and looked at the glider over at Stanton Airport, and I saw how small the seat was that I had to get into, and then, of course, they put a cover over it. I think I'd rather be it open. I never thought I was claustrophobic till I had an MRI a number of years back, and oh my word, I went about bonkers inside that little thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, biddingforgood.com/SCC. There's a presidential scholarship that provides free tuition for 2 years. What an awesome.
Yes, and that's for high school seniors only. But really, right now it's about $11,000 for a 2-year degree at South Central College, which is really a good value compared to many other colleges. But, yep, every year we offer one of those.
So tell your kids and grandkids about it.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Or if you haven't been onto campus, come visit and see how beautiful it is and see the programs we have and meet with an advisor and ask all the questions.
Yeah. You went to St. Olaf, didn't you?
I did. And then MSU Mankato.
Okay. I was trying to remember. And St. Olaf is, well, you know what the cost is of a year at St. Olaf now versus when you went to school.
Absolutely, because that was a long time ago.
Well, it wasn't that long ago. But I'm saying that it's gone up quite a bit over the years.
Yeah.
Right, Jason?
It's gone up drastically. And it's, it's a good value here in Faribault, and it's always been that way, and we like to keep it. But you bet, you're going to pursue that education for your entire life. I think is a good way to look at it. You're a lifelong learner nowadays, and so those coming back to school even should check it out. I remember when I was an instructor there that oftentimes we didn't even have enough people that would apply for the money that we had, and it's still that way. We could have so many more that would apply than that do now. So anybody out there that have students at the school, they should talk to them about applying.
Yeah, that's
we
crazy.
have about 15% of our student population apply for scholarships, and that's up from earlier years. But it is a simple online application, and it's the only way you have a chance to get free money. If you don't do it, you won't get anything. And if you do it, you very likely could get something. And our scholarships are $500 up to, as we mentioned, full tuition. So
awesome.
It's worth it.
We've plumb run out of time here, so I hope we touched all the bases.